Yo, yo, what's good with it? It's your boy Mario, aka Mr. Hawk. And you're now tuned in to Hawk Shop Talk. And today we will be talking about some serious issues. Just different things that, you know, I be feeling on my soul about different situations. Today's situation will be kids, man. Um, why is it so hard for men to be able to be in their kids' life? Um, and I've had 15 years of struggle with that same situation with all three of my girls. And I'm still dealing with the same situations with that. And it's kind of messed up. I ain't even gonna lie. It puts a bad cloud into everything because every time that a woman, and I'm not just gonna, bash women and stuff like that. It's a lot of men that ain't shit, but we talking about the women in my situation. Um, they were, they didn't do what they were supposed to do. I did what I was supposed to do as a father and fight for them, and I kind of succeeded when it comes to all my kids. Uh, and I really didn't think that I would actually have the fight that I have to be able to fight for kids like that. But like I said, when I had my first one, she changed my whole life. I mean, like real talk, like it was different. She made me want to be better. She made me want to do better, and I kind of grew into the man I am today. And I can honestly say that I wouldn't have what I have now without the motivation of me wanting to fight for my kids to make sure that they see me in a different light other than the gangster person that I was before. Um, I just want kids to have help. That's all I want. I want kids to have help. I've never had a problem with being on child support. Child support has never been a problem. Only problem I have with child support is that they don't have nothing set in place to make sure the money is going where it needs to go and the kids are taken care of with that money. I have literally got custody of my oldest little girl, which is 15 now. When she was, I think, 4 or 5 years old, I literally just maybe 3 years ago, she decided she wanted to go back to her mom's house for freedom. And I'm at the point with that one to where whatever you see as freedom, when you get older, you'll see that it's going to make you struggle even harder. I try my best to be there as much as I can, as much as she want me there, because she's at that age where she knows the difference between right and wrong. And I'm not going to hold her back from making the decisions she wants because she got to learn those issues. Like, she's got to learn the difference between doing something she ain't got no business and not. You know what I'm talking about? Like, so it's a sad situation. I was at first when she decided to go back home, I was really, really mad. You know what I'm talking about? Like, and you may be asking, how can she go back home without me okaying it? It's a long story, and I'm a keep it short. So I'm gonna just have to skim through a bunch of stuff because if I don't, we'll be sitting here for so long of me talking about it. But her mom wasn't her mom wasn't my type. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really want to be with her mom. I was young and was just out there doing my thing as a mid 20s, player. Um, and this girl kept bothering me Like I had a homeboy that worked with her, and I would go to the job, holler at him, and he would always like, man, she wants you, man. Holler at her, she wants you really bad. I'm like, okay, that's cool. That's what's up. And I just always blow her off because she wasn't my type. She wasn't my type. You know what I'm talking about? At the time, I wasn't into like lit petite girls, man. I like my thick ones. You hear me? So, and then I went up there, kept on going up there, kept on going up, and he came to me like, man, she a virgin. I'm like, she ain't no damn virgin. You 20-something years old and you still a virgin? I mean, it's possible. But this is my mind frame then. You're like, yeah, she's a virgin. I'm like, she's a virgin. Maybe I should, see what's up. So my first red flag was, I like my chick, talking about at the time I was on some ratchet shit. So ratchet classy. That's my thing was ratchet classy. I didn't want too much shown, but I wanted enough shown that it leaves your mind, your imagination to wander. So she pull up, I pull up, I go take her to the movies. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna do some day. I've always been that romantic. Niggas say, oh man, you ain't no romantic, man. You just be no. I've always been a romantic. I've always a romantic to a certain extent. I'm gonna say that because a bunch of people are like, you ain't no fucking romantic. I'm like, to a certain extent. So I get her, I go pick her up, and we go to the movies, come back. And at this time, I don't really believe she's a virgin, but she was a virgin. So first time we did something, she got pregnant. No, second time we did something, she got pregnant. First time didn't succeed at getting through. Second time she got pregnant. Okay, so she get pregnant, and at this time, I did what I was gonna do. So I bounced. You know what I'm talking about? I was in Shreveport. I ended up going to Houston. And I'm in Houston. I'm going back and forth. I know she's pregnant now. So I'm coming visit so I can go to the doctor's appointments. And I'm seeing how everything going. And I'm like, okay, yeah, my little one gonna be good. So I'm in H-Town. You hear me? And I as I'm coming visit, I'm noticing different things, you know what I'm talking about? Like, so I kind of like, fuck it, okay, well, I'm seeing, like, when I go to the house, all the lights on, they got candles, the water's not on, and she's asking me to bring water and all this other stuff. What the fuck? But I'm like, I know it's a house full of people in there. Why is this going on? And you work all the time, even while you pregnant, and the bills are like your mama working, your sister and them. I think your sister had a job. One of them did hair. The other one sit on the couch and did shit. You know what I'm talking about? I know, and you're in the hood. I know y'all can afford to, you know what I'm talking about, take care of your business. Obviously not. So my daughter's born. She actually had to get induced. I think she had a C-section. Did she have a C-section? I think she had a C-section because my daughter, I guess, was too big. And like I said, this girl was petite. She had my daughter, and I'm still coming back and forth. At this time, I think I'm in Alexandria, Louisiana, living. I moved to Alexandria. I moved back to Louisiana, but not back to Shreveport. So I'm coming back and forth, and I'm still noticing that same thing. I get my me and my mom, we get together because I'm like, man, mom, like, she's struggling. Like, she can't even keep money in her pocket. She give her mama money. Her mama goes to the casino trying to double it, losing all the money. They ain't got lights. They may not have food and all this other stuff. I'm tired of my child living like that. Like, we got to figure out something. Mom, she was like, well, let's try to see if we can get an apartment. So we put our heads together. We go get an apartment. At the time, I think when that happens, I'm moving back and forth from Houston. I go back to Houston, and then she was like, well, I need help. I need a ride to work. I need this. I need that. I'm like, okay, bet. I come back. I'm going back and forth from Houston to Shreveport, trying to help her. So I'm like, okay, she need my help. She need my help. I'm gonna do my thing to help her. You know what I'm talking about? That's my child is there. So situation happened like within, I think my daughter gets to 1 years old. Now at this time, her mom got evicted out the house she was staying in. So she done moved on the second floor around the corner of the same apartments. She done followed her. You know what I'm talking about? She's waiting until she fuck up so she can move in with my baby mama. So my baby mama, they'll be back in the same situation again. So at the time I got me a old school, you know what I'm talking about, white Cadillac Fleetwood, you hear me? Short body. I forgot, I don't think it was a Fleetwood, it was something else. Short. I can't remember. With the white leather top, you know what I'm talking about, half top. I don't know what they call that. I'm not really a car dude like everybody else, you hear me? So I'm taking her to work, you know what I'm talking about? This particular day, I take her to work. I go to my homegirl house. I'm like, we're going to my homegirl house, chill, blah, 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 blah. Now, my daughter has always been weird. Not weird in a bad way, but weird to where, even as a baby, she didn't like to sleep on her back. She slept on her side. So she would always sleep on her side and lean over the car seat. So I get a call, screaming, howling, all this other stuff. I want you gone, M&F, you beating on my daughter and all this other stuff. I'm like, what the fuck? What? So I hit my homegirl. She was like, what the fuck is she talking about? She'll never put your hands on Mariah. I'm like, okay, bet. So I go back to the house and I'm just sitting in there and I'm screaming and hollering with her like, dude, like, what the fuck are you talking about? You see a line? You don't see hands. You see a line. I'm like, dude, you do know she always sleeps on her side. She wouldn't even look. Sitting on the couch. So like one of the Febreze bottles. Back in the day when it was like metal Febreze bottle, not the plastic ones. She picks up that Febreze bottle and swings it at me. Okay, by the time I did that, I duck it. You hear me? So this happens. Then me and her arguing still. She called the police. Okay, cool. I'm glad they coming. I'm sitting in the chair. I moved away from her because it seemed like she can't be trusted around objects. And she's the type, she's quiet as fuck. She don't really say shit at all. But when she gets mad, it's like 0 to 100. She just blows up. So I'm sitting there. I hear a knock on the door, a beating on the door, actually. Her mom and her sister walk in there. I'm just, They just run. They didn't even see what was going on. They didn't care because they wanted to get me out of there. So they got a way to get back in there. They start swinging on me and everything, picking up chairs. I had to grab the chair, knock the mama out with the chair, teeth come out of her mouth. The sister and them trying to jump on me. Got. I'm talking about, man, we was Fight Club in that bitch. And I don't condone hitting women. But if you put your hands on me and try to jump me and I am in fear of my life, I have to do what I have to do. Point blank. I'm on God. Like real shit. I had to do what I had to do. So I leave. She wanted me gone. Well, no, let me take that back. My mom came, chased her mom on the second floor back to her apartment. She wouldn't even come down. The police see that she had a line all the way down her body, consistent with her laying on her side on the car seat, like I told them to begin with. Now, we got the apartment for her, but the apartment was in her name, so she kicked me out the apartment. Told the police she wanted me at the apartment. So I was like, shit, cool. I didn't want to be in a way. I don't, deal with you like that. Like, it's good. I just want to be able to see my child. So I leave and I move back to Houston. I just packed all my stuff and zoop back to Houston. So I go back to Houston and we go back and forth for a while. And then I started noticing that everywhere she would move, her mama would move with her. Everywhere. And every time she do that, she starts to struggle. I knew that she was good as long as they wasn't there, but when I get a call or a text about money, I know that her mom has something to do with it. So I'm on child support, all that other stuff she did. She made sure she got all that because she wanted to make sure she get that money without having to ask me because she know it was coming too much of a hassle to have to hit me up about it. And I wasn't rich or had the best job at the time. I was working factories in Houston and stuff like that. And then, but the problem was I could never find a career because I was going back and forth. So I end up moving back to Shreveport, and I started having my daughter come over, and I started, I came back with nothing. I put when I say that the first time I seen my daughter with her feet being like straight black, come and visit her, I knew I had to come back. And granted, I did. I wanted to come back, but I wasn't ready to come back. I got in some trouble and had to come back. Not so trouble I was running from, but trouble, okay, well, I lost what I had there, so I had to come back. So I came back, 2009. I ended up in a boarding house. Yes, a boarding house, I think 2-3 stories, renting out a room. Shit, everybody and their mom in that mug. Walking to work. I had my car had broke down before I came back. Like, I didn't have anything. So I'm in this boarding house, cool, seeing my daughter. She's coming spend the nights with me and stuff like that. I'm working at the casino. And what happens next? I start going to the casino because I'm like, well, shoot, I can't make money enough to be able to get transportation. So I went to the casino. I think I had like $60. I hit for about 3 G's, you hear me? So I went and bought me a little van, you know what I'm saying? The first thing I can find, I wanted to keep some money, but so I went and bought a van for like $1,000. They used to call it 18 van because it was all kind of different colors, black, kind of faded and shit. I didn't give a fuck. It got me to A and B. It's up. So, and it's spacious. You hear me? So, I get the van, and so I'm able to be mobile. I'm seeing my daughter a little more, stuff like that. But I'm starting to see all these bad things, man. And then I start to, let me see what happens. What happens next? At this time, I think I ended up moving out of that boarding house, and I start working for another job doing satellite. First job doing satellite, good money. I move into a house, a little hood house, little 2-bedroom. The motherfucker had like mice and shit like that, but you got to come up somewhere. I mean, it was my way of stacking my bread and moving somewhere else, which I did. I've been going up since 2009. So I do that, get there, and I meet this other girl. Wasn't trying to meet this girl. I'm gonna be real with you. I was not trying to meet this goddamn girl. You ever? I don't know nobody's else notions, but mine is okay. I'm at Grambling with a couple of dudes I know, the college. I mean, I'm pretty sure you know what Grambling is, and it's a group of girls. It's like 5 fine ones, 2 eights, one that ain't whatever. I mean, she's I'm still on my ratchet shit, you hear me? So I'm trying to holler at one of the fine ones, but it's like a level. At the front, you got the fine. In the middle, you got the aight, and you got the okay at the back. So they start, me and them talking, I'm finna go walk up to them, they're kind of across the way. I start walking towards it, and they start walking off. So I won't get embarrassed like they walking off from me. I grab the eye. So I grab the eye, and me and her is sitting there talking, and I'm like, I don't want her, but I'm on my ratchet shit. Whatever. Let's get it, do it. I'm probably can her and then go to catch that one that I wanted at the front. You hear me? Because they're all friends. So I start coming visit her, blah, blah, blah. And oh my God. This is a long story. So I'm a continue this one on another one. But I'm gonna go back to my oldest little girl, because if I do that, this is gonna go too long. and I this has got to be a different part story. So I'm gonna just pause there. I met this girl that was alright, and then I'll get to that another day. So this will be a part one. That'll be a part two whenever I do another one. So I meet this girl. Well, shit, no, I didn't meet this girl. Pause. So what else happens with my oldest little girl? So blah 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 blah. A bunch of stuff happens. I'm with her. This happens. Blah blah blah. Yakety smackety. Okay. So I'm starting to notice all these different things with my daughter. She's not being taken care of correctly. Her mom follows us everywhere. It makes her struggle. My daughter starts to struggle with her. Every time I get her, I gotta go buy her clothes, gotta go buy her underwear, gotta go buy her socks, gotta go get her hair done. She's not doing anything that is supposed to be done as a mother. So I start to think like, okay, well, at the time I'm trying to build my stuff, I don't have money to pay for a lawyer. So I'm like, I tried the legal services route. It said that I didn't make enough money. I didn't make enough money to get a lawyer, but I made too much money to get legal services for me to have a lawyer. So I'm like, what the fuck? So what am I supposed to do? So I start thinking, okay, well, I'm gonna call CPS. Call CPS. They don't do nothing. Call them again. They don't do nothing. They go to, they don't do anything. And then I start saying, okay, well, I'm gonna go there before they go there, and then maybe they'll see something that I see when I'm there. So then I find out that CPS is going, but they're calling before they even go. What? Yes, they're calling before they even go there. So tells me that this is a woman state. They're gonna look out for the woman before they look out for the man. So they do that. I start to go and do my investigation. I see that lights off. They in there with a extension cord, stealing electric from the apartment across from them. They in a neighborhood where there's shootouts, kids getting kidnapped, all this other stuff. Now, if somebody from Shreveport, Cedar Grove is listening, you know what apartments I'm talking about. Off of 70th. Y'all know how bad them apartments is. I don't even know why they ain't condemned them by now. So, okay, so I am where I'm at. So I'm going in there. I call CPS again. I know the electric off. I know all this stuff. They still don't do nothing. Okay, so at this time I moved back to my hometown of Natchitoches, Louisiana, and I'm fast forwarding it because a lot of stuff happened in between that, but I ain't got time to talk about the other stories with my other kids and all that other stuff right now, so it'll be different parts. So I'm back in Natchitoches. I go to visit my daughter, talk to my daughter. My daughter says somebody touched her and blah blah blah, and it just her appearance was bad. I talked to the teacher. The teacher said they sent some change in her and blah blah. So I called a lawyer that I had hooked up satellite at the lady's house. She says, well, y'all have custody established in court? I said, no, I'm just on child support. Okay, well, you can go just take her. I mean, what worst thing she can do is take you to court. I said, take me to court, and well, I'm going to go to jail? She was like, no. Like, you don't have custody, she don't have a custody. It's never been established in court. I'm like, okay, bet. So I'm at the school. I take my daughter. I bring her back to Natchitoches. Well, I go get a protective order at the juvenile court. Write what I'm going to write on there. She can't come get her. We go down there. She find her way a couple days later, come down there. And she's there, waiting on my daughter. And she beat on the door. I open the door. She got a police there. I show the police. I'm kind of fast forwarding through here because I don't really have a lot of time because I don't know when this thing gonna cut off because it did it to me before. This is the second time me doing a recording. So let me get back to it. So that's why I'm trying to speak in kind of fast because it's a lot to cover. So she does that. I end up she ended up calling the police. The police come. I show the police the protective order. They say you can't take her. She's in there crying. She leaves. I don't even know how she even found my address. I think that when they were supposed to hide my address on the protective order, they put it on there, and she came to it. So about a week later, I'm in Alexandria, Louisiana, working, talking to them on the phone, her and my ex-wife, and they finna get ready to go see Minions. I'm on the phone. What's up? What's up? Well, talking about the little girl. She laughing. She happy to go. She finna go to see Minions. They getting dressed. Beat on the door. I hear it in the phone. She go open the door. She say, "Hold on." Boom. Her mama, my baby mama, her sister and them run in and jump on my ex-wife. They in there fighting. I'm hearing my daughter screaming. They fighting. They trying to, I'm talking about grab and swinging at my ex-wife, trying to pull my daughter out of her hand. So eventually, from what she said that they were swinging at her so hard, and she's trying to kick them, but she got my daughter wrapped around in their arm. She's trying to protect her, and then she was like, I just had to let her go before they hurt her. Let her go. She screamed. My daughter's screaming. They grab my daughter. They leave. I call my sister and them. And like, man, they fucking took Mariah. Like, they came and jumped on Shay, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, woo! They line up on the highway. They ready to go. They going get her. You know what I'm talking about? They bite it. So I was like, nah, don't worry about because it's gonna end up being something else. So I called the police. Detectives come. They track her. They go down there and get her. They arrest her mom. I pick my daughter up, come back to Natchitoches. They charged her with 2 counts of kidnapping, battery, breaking and entering. I mean, that girl had a line of that girl had a long laundry list of charges. So we go to court. They drop all the charges. They drop them out. Every one of them. They dropped all the charges. They basically gave her probation and anger management. Yes. Let me do that. I'm going to jail. I would still be doing it in jail. I would probably be doing this podcast like Suge Knight in jail right now. This long ago. This happened 10 years ago. No. Yep, 10 years ago. This happened 10 years ago. I'll still be in jail. So they let her go, and they give her back to her mom. Yes, they gave her back. So after all the fighting I done, I end up keep on trying. There was another incident. I'm over visiting her. She didn't move. She can't keep a place, so she in another place. I called CPS. They didn't do anything. I like, okay, well, I mean, they ain't got no furniture in the house, no TVs. My daughter ain't got nowhere to sleep. They ain't even got a refrigerator in the apartment. What are y'all eating? They eating out every day from her job. Her mom still's working at the same place she been working at since I met her. She was trying to go to school. That was over with after my daughter was born. So, okay, so I'm going to see my daughter. I got her at the truck. She's standing on my little my little side step. I'm going over her homework. And then, now she has another child at this point. The baby was, 1 or 2 maybe. So she comes up to the truck. Mariah, come on, go in the house. I'm helping her with her homework and trying to fix her backpack because she had tore her backpack. No, Mariah, go in the house. I'm like, she's gonna go in the house. Just give me a second. Go in the house now. Like, man. So I get up, I get out to hug my daughter. She grabs like one of the things off the back of my truck and swings it at me. She literally cuts my arm open right below this scar right here. Police come. They put both of us in cuffs. My daughter told him what happened. They put both of us in cuffs. The only thing that saved me is there was somebody in the apartment across the way that seen what happened, and he was like, and it was, I think it was him and her. And it was like, it ain't his fault. He was just sitting there with his daughter. Like, she took something off the back of his truck and swung it at him for nothing and started hollering. So they arrest her again. She goes to jail. She gets out. We went to court. I got summoned to court. And I'm like, I don't want my baby mama to go to jail, but she got to know this ain't no game. She got to get her shit together. They give her counseling. Yes, counseling. That's all they gave her. Counseling. So they gave her back again. Gave her back again. So what happens next? Like, this is steps. Just keep on happening, same thing, keep on happening. I'm getting so discouraged, it's ridiculous. You hear me? I'm so discouraged. So I think maybe a year later, I start to see other like things that's going on. I seen her mosquito bites all over her body, wingworms in her head, bed bug bites, feet black still, underwear tore up, clothes tore up. Like, she wasn't doing nothing for my daughter. She really didn't care about anything that comes to my daughter. I honestly think that she only wanted a check. That's all she wanted. And this is why I said what I said at the beginning. It was a check grab. You know what I'm talking about? It's one thing if I'm struggling on and off and I can't afford to just constantly pay child support and you put me on child support. But it's another thing that you get this child support for a reason, for you to be able to help pay your bills because you don't want to do anything more. And my daughter, you feel like my daughter don't deserve more. And that's what I started feeling like. So I ended up I took my daughter again. Got a protective order. Now, this time, the CPS did an investigation. They did it the second time, too, but nobody ever came to my house. They never came to mama's house, which they supposed to. It's their job. This time, CPS did their thing. They came to the house, seen that she had her own room, blase. She was taken care of. They went to her house, did their thing. I don't know what happened with that. She ended up going to legal services and getting a lawyer. So we going back and forth in court. The lawyer comes to me one day in court, after court, or was it before? It might have been before, to introduce himself. I'm thinking like, okay, he's finna introduce himself. We're going to have a little talk. He says, man, is something wrong with her? I said, who, my daughter? He's like, no. She's sweet. Your child's mother. I said, I don't think so. He was like, have you seen her mouth? I said, no, I don't really pay attention. I don't look at her. Like, she's a blank spot to me. And he was like, well, look in her mouth. And I start looking, I look over. He like, her teeth is she on drugs or something? Like, I keep on, when I'm talking to her, it seems like she's just high, or it's just something different about her, like something's wrong. I said she's always been kind of weird. But as far as like the drug thing, I don't know. I'm like, she don't really open up her mouth. So I like, God damn, you sure right. Like, all her teeth gone damn near, like they black and shit. I'm like, dude, this girl before she had my daughter, she had all her teeth. They were all there. I'm like, okay. So he's like, man, look, I see you trying. I heard what you said to the judge. You was in tears. Like, I was on some, you know what I'm saying? Man, I was on that. You know what I'm talking about? I was talking to the judge. You know what I'm talking about? Like on some tear shit. Not no fake shit, some real shit. And then when he started telling me, like, man, look, I'm gonna try to help you as much as I can. Like, that's my client, but that child doesn't belong with that mother. So we get in court, and I'm like, well, how's he gonna do it? I'm like, well, fuck, he probably ain't gonna do nothing. So he literally kind of peeled back. He didn't ask no questions. He didn't object to anything. Like, I'm telling them this, telling them that, different situations of what's going on. This mother, I literally sit there and told the judge, and this is another thing. This girl was trying to get housing by staying in a shelter to get it, and she was letting my daughter live there to get it, so she can get a 2-bedroom. If my daughter was living with me, which she should have been, she would have only got a 1-bedroom because her son was so young that he would have to be in the room with her. So she wanted a 2-bedroom. So she let Mariah live in a shelter with a bunch of random people that she didn't have to, because she had a dad that had his own house to be able to have her own room until she figured out what she needed to do. Which, this is not a mother. I'm going to be real. This is not a mother. Then, when she would go to work, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, she was letting my daughter be babysit by an old man that she met in the shelter that was like 50-something, 60-something years old in a wheelchair. Which, granted, this same guy came to testify on her behalf in court to say she was a good mother and she did what she was supposed to do. The same guy. So what happened after that? So we do the court. I get custody. So I got custody of my daughter now. So she's with me. I'm fast forwarding. She's with me. She has a good life. She's going to good schools. She's doing gymnastics. She's doing tumbling. She's doing dance team. I'm the only one there. She's doing donuts with dads. I'm the only one there. Donuts with mom. She didn't show up. Grandmother Day with the donuts and all of that stuff. My mom's there. Her mom doesn't even come to anything. Like, we're the only one that's supporting her. So years go down the line. I ended up getting a divorce, well, separating. I get in my own place. And then I move into another place after, like, I think a year and a half, 2 years, something like that. So I go back to the hood because I'm trying to stack my bread up, because now that I got my daughter, I'm finna get ready to get a divorce. I want to be able to buy a house, which I am in now. I bought a house. So me and her, she's so used to a certain way as far as like the living, like the schools and stuff like that. So I end up having to move I end up not having to, but I end up moving to the hood. So she got hood people around now. She's not used to hood people because as long as she's been with me, she don't really remember the hood no more, not per se. So we start to bump heads a lot. You know what I'm talking about? Because she's going to the hood school, so she's trying to be like the girls. So I'm getting called from teachers. I'm getting called from everybody. Like, she's doing this, she's doing that, she's doing this, she's doing that. So I'm like, okay, I got to figure something out. So let me see what happens next. So, granted, I don't beat my kids. Okay? I literally don't whoop my kids anymore anyway, because they got to the age where I can't spank them anymore. Okay? So I used to spank my daughter. And when she was younger. I don't condone whooping, like beating, but spanking their ass, that's their problem now, because nobody don't do that. I'm going to spank some ass. I don't do it now because they know the difference between right and wrong. I shouldn't have to anymore. because it hurts me because of the abuse and stuff I dealt with growing up. So I started spanking her. Like I used to spank her like maybe every 4 or 5 months. Now I'm having to spank her like more often because I'm getting calls constantly from school and I don't know what to do. Like her mom don't care. Really don't matter me calling her. Like they hit me up the same way they hit her up at school, and I don't even hear from her mama, so she obviously don't give a shit what's going on. I think she's waiting until she mess up so much to where I send her back. That's what I think, but I never knew the truth. I don't know. I didn't think she wanted her to begin with. She just wanted to check, which I'm gonna get to that. So one day I had to leave to go out of town and do a turnaround. So I'm gonna be gone 2 hours. My daughter is well mannered. She was well mannered. She did what she was supposed to do, so she knew when I leave the house, she ain't going nowhere. But she didn't really go nowhere anyway. She pretty much sit in the room and watch TV. I had cameras everywhere, so you couldn't leave out the house without me knowing. So I leave. I come back. She's gone. I'm like, okay. So I'm blowing up her phone. She's like, I'm at my mama's house. So I hit my baby mama up. She like, she's here. I'm like, all right, well, make sure she get on the bus to come back home tomorrow since she mad. Because before I left, I told her that I was gonna spank her because some stuff she was doing at school, running behind these little boys. And the teacher gets that's the same issue I just kept on having. Like she around these hood boys, she's infatuated. So come back the next day, she never makes it home. So I'm calling, blowing the phone up. Her mom said she hit my daughter up. She's like, "Well, mom said I can't come home." I'm like, "You live here." Well, she said she's not sending me back there. I'm like, "You need to bring your behind home." You know what? I'm coming to get you. I'm gonna text your mama. Text your mama. She's not gonna come there. She says you be beating on her. I said she ain't never been beat in her life. First off, do she know the difference? It don't matter. She's not coming back there. I'm finna get you locked up. I'm like, hold up. You want to do me what I did to you, which I actually didn't do, you did to yourself. That's what you think. So you trying to get me back for you getting yourself in trouble. So I'm like, okay, bitch, let's do it. And I don't call everybody bitch. That bitch just is a bitch. Bitch gonna be a bitch. So bitches is bitches. So I I'm a I'm gonna add on to the bitches, but I'll continue on another story with that. That bitch. Yeah. So I go get the paperwork, go to the house. I don't have the correct paperwork. I never got the official order from the judge, the court. We kind of when he said it in court, I was like, okay, cool, bet, done. I don't know the law. Go to a house, call the police. This ain't the right paper. Go to downtown, get another paper, bring it back. This ain't the right paper. This is the minutes. It doesn't say anything about the order in the minutes. Go back. I'm like, I need the order, but there's no order. I'm like, what you mean there's no order? Well, the judge never signed the paper, but he the one said I had custody. Well, he never signed it. Can y'all get him to sign it? Well, you have to take her back to court. What? Whoa. So I got to start the process all over again. Hold on. No. This ain't what we're finna do. I'm like, okay, hold on. Let me think. Let me figure this out. So I go back to the house. She gone. Bring the police back over there. Like, well, if you can catch her here, then we can go and do something. So if not, then we can't do anything. We can't find her. So the officer, black lady, she called. Ma'am, this is Blase from Shreveport Police Department. We're trying to get Mr. Charles's daughter. Click. Hangs up in the police face like you bold. But you would think that because she always gets off. So I'm like, okay, bet. My homeboy stayed around the corner. I go sit in the truck. And I go park in his driveway. She pulls up to her house. She comes in, but she sees me. So when she sees me, she ends up high speed chasing. I'm running behind her in the car, but I'm driving at the right speed. She got my daughter in there. She got her son in there. Like, she don't care. She just zoom. She go to her mama job. Got in the mama job. Mama come out there. She already don't like me. What the fuck you doing here? Get the fuck away from here, but you motherfucker, and get off this doggone property. And then her co-workers come out there, sir, you gotta move your fucking vehicle off the property now. We're calling the police, they're coming. I said, call them, shit. I want them to come. Get there. We're sitting there talking. And the black lady that I had talked to before, she pulls up. She was like, well, Mariah, you have to go to your dad until y'all go back to court. She was like, well, he don't really have custody of her. She looked at the paper. She was like, in the minutes it says, well, the judge granted it, he just never signed the order, but until y'all go back to court, she gonna have to go back with him. Well, he be beating on her and verbal abusing her. Verbal abusing her? What the fuck? I'm like, what's verbal abuse? You be telling her that she ugly and stuff like. I said, she tell me I'm fucking ugly. What the fuck? I said, we do it together. She look like me. That's my twin. If I'm ugly, she ugly. Oh, well, she said you be telling her that you gonna send her back to my house and you gonna whoop her and bring her back and all this other stuff. She came back anyway. So, sorry. So the judge ended up, not the judge, but we ended up talking. Hold on one second. So a white officer pull up. He called the juvenile courthouse, talked to a juvenile detective. Detective say, well, if there's some accusations, then she needs to go with her mom until they go back to court. So the black girl, she's like, no, we ain't finna do this. So she goes and looked at my daughter and look. You said there, ma'am, you said there was bruises and whelps and, stuff on her. There's nothing on her. Well, that's what my daughter told me and I believe her. So the white guy, he was like, well, just let her go with her mom. So she's sitting there, I'm mad. I'm talking about I want to fight some shit. I'm like, dude, like, I'm pissed. And the girl, she was like, man, just let your daughter learn. If the household is as bad as you said it is, once she see it's that bad, then she'll want to come back home eventually. So I'm like, but I don't want to wait that long because then it's going to be bad in that household when she's not going to be the same person she was when she left. So she does that, and me and her don't talk for like the first year and something. And we start talking, then we get into it. We start talking, we get into it. Then it just never was all the way right. You know what I'm talking about? When we're around each other, we still got that bond, and you can tell it's still there. But her mom gave her the freedom. She gonna always run back to that freedom. She don't like most kids don't want that structure. They not gonna deal with that structure. And I really wasn't strict like that at all. Like, she just kind of knew what to do and what not to do. And she went back to her mom and started wilding out. And every time she wilded out, I got a call. But I'm like, dude, so you want my daughter back here, but you don't want to be a parent, but you want me to come parent part-time to help you out. I did it because I don't want my daughter to go down a path of destruction and fuck up her life. But I did that for her. So the summary of this story is we need something set in place to help these children. And I got a whole bunch of stories about different baby mamas, which I only got 3 girls, but I go get to them another day. But these kids need help, and there's nothing set in place to help them. All the stuff my daughter went through, she still was able to go back to her mom. This girl should not have been able to be a parent, period, with everything that my daughter went through. And because it happened when my daughter's so young, Like, I literally talked to her about this like a couple of weeks ago. My daughter literally don't remember all the bad stuff happened to her. She literally asked me like last year, "Do you remember why all these spots are on my all over my arm and my legs and stuff?" Like, she don't remember, but I do. And every time I have to pick her up and drop her back off over there, I remember what she went through. And people change. People change, granted, but you ain't changed that much to where I'm always getting calls about something my daughter's doing and something that you're not doing that you're supposed to be keeping your eyes on. And I just think that if people gonna put you on child support, there ought to be a person with CPS connected to it. Oh, you gonna be on child support? Okay, well, we gonna do random pop-ups. We gonna come to the house. We gonna check it. We gonna make sure that the money's being spent the way the child has everything they need. They have food to eat. They have all this other stuff. I'm cool. I ain't got no problem. You put me on child support, give me that too. I want let me sign that over. I want somebody to make sure that everything is good. Most men wouldn't give a fuck if they knew their kids was taken care of. A lot of them wouldn't. Like, fuck. Because once they fuck up, that child comes to their dad. And then that dad gonna do what he's supposed to do to take care of their child. I'm not saying all men are fucked up or bad or good. But it's now, from what I see when I go to my daughter's school, it's a lot of good men out here now. Man, when I say I went to their like PTO, the parents' night out, it wasn't no parents' night out. It was nothing but men in there. Man, I'm telling you, 95% of the men that was in that building, in the little gymnasium or whatever that is, it was all men. It had 20, 30 women in there. I was so proud, man, because like I said, I've always been there for my kids and I went to all their stuff. I've never seen it like that. When I used to go to Donuts with Dad, it had maybe 4 or 5 dads. The rest was women. Men standing up now. Men doing what they supposed to do. But the thing is, the mind frame of them certain type of women ain't changed yet. They ain't gonna never change. And you can't do nothing to fucking about it. The government ain't gonna do nothing about it. We have to do something about it. But how are we gonna do that? We ain't got no money to spend on it. We paying child support. The government taking a percentage out of it. We ain't got no help. All these celebrities that went through the same thing we went through, they ain't finna help us. They got money now. They don't give a fuck about what we going through. I ain't struggling no more, man. Fuck them niggas. That's how they look at us. All these celebrities that got $10, $20 million making $100,000, $200,000 per show. You can take 20, every celebrity that going through the same thing, $20,000 and put it in the pot. Start an organization where they do something with the government, make a bill get passed to where if you put a man on fucking child support, it come with somebody else that's gonna watch your ass. And vice versa. If a man put a woman on child support, same thing. Women put a man on child support, same thing. This ain't one side, it's both sides. I want all that smoke. So you telling me I gotta damn near get my license suspended, damn near go to jail, all this other stuff, but she ain't even taking care of my child. And when I say it in court, sir, we don't care if you're living in a box as long as you pay your child support. What? The fuck? This system fucked up. And more men that got more money need to motherfucking do something to help it. On God. But I gotta get out of here. I've been here for an hour. I was trying to do like 30 minutes, you hear me? My story went long, and that's why I said if I would have started talking about one of the others, this thing be about 3-4 hours. We've been all night in this motherfucker, you hear me? And I ain't trying to do that. So I'm signing off. This is Hawk. This is Hawk Shop Talk. You see my bike back there, my weights, my punching bag. It's the shop. It's my man cave, kind of. You hear me? Got my TV in the front. You can't really see it, but it's there. Got my game, my beat. I make my music and all of this. So I do all kind of stuff in here. You hear me? But this is Hawk Shop Talk, and I'm gonna holler at y'all next episode. You hear me?